Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/Malicious Compliance. In today's episode, Style Guide says not to use foreign plurals, guess I'll call it a datum space, then. You can't be alone with the kids. Okay then. I'll deal with it myself. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. Style Guide says not to use foreign plurals, guess I'll call it a datum space, then. I was working in science communication when our in-house copy editor created a style guide. According to this guide, you shouldn't say there are 1,612 cats. Instead, you should spell out numbers 1 to 9 and use numerals for numbers over 10. Okay, no worries. The author didn't like too much punctuation. Don't use Oxford commas, they're unnecessary. If you say so. We were also told not to write octopi or octopodes, but to stick with octopuses. Foreign plurals are usually wrong and always pretentious. Avoid them. Malicious compliance time. From the day the new style guide launched, a Thursday, I had 2 working days before our part-time copy editor was back in the office. 2 whole days of delightedly replacing foreign plurals with English versions of them. Data? Foreign plural. Pretentious. Get rid of it. A database datum space is a great way to store large amounts of information. Analyses? Pretentious. Our analyses showed that. Criteria? Nope. The selection criterions for this job are media? There was great medium's coverage of our work, including on CNN and in the Washington Post. Come Tuesday, I received a very mild talking to. Yes, Zvient, you're very clever. Stop it. And the style guide was updated to suggest we use common sense. Since then, though, it's become a running joke among a few of us, and we do our best to only half-arse whatever the foreign singular might have been. So, what are you going to have for lunch today, dear Redditor? Raviolos or spaghettises? You can't be alone with the kids. So, I am sitting here at work and listening to malicious compliance stories on a podcast. I just remembered this story from when I was about 15 years old and working my first job. This was in the mid-90s, so some of the memories are a little on the fuzzy side. I was 15 years old and able to finally work my first job. I took a job to work in the local daycare center in our town during the summer. I was worked with some awesome preschool teachers, but there was one that we can call Nancy because I don't remember her name. She was horrible. She would always chew me out for not moving fast enough with getting a snack out to the kids or being fast enough with taking a child to the bathroom. The playground was above ground and the preschool room was below ground. There were huge windows that, even though the walkway was partially blocking the view of the playground, you could still look down into the preschool room and see everything was going on. The kids usually went out to play after nap time, so usually around 3 or 4 p.m. before parent pickup. We had a little one that was about 2 or 3 that was still in pull-ups and was potty training. She would have accidents sometimes, so she would have to be escorted to the bathroom. Nancy's favorite thing to be *TCH'd me about was that I had to take this little girl to the bathroom to get changed, but I wasn't allowed to be by myself with her. I asked her why she didn't go and take her down to the bathroom herself then, and her response to me was, "I can't leave you alone with the kids on the playground." Get it, a safety issue. So Nancy would send me to take little girl to the bathroom, but then would yell at me because she couldn't see me with her. She would tell me every day about this. My teenage brain was like, what lady? How am I supposed to do my job? So, I came up with a plan. One day she asked me to take little girl to the bathroom and she kindly reminded me that I couldn't be out of view while taking her to the bathroom. Fine, no problem. So, I took little girl to the bathroom. I kept the bathroom door wide open, gave the little girl verbal instructions within earshot easy enough for a 2/3-year-old to understand, and stood out in the classroom so she could see me. I told the little girl to pull off the wet pants and throw away the pull-up, which she did like a big girl, her words. Then I told her to come to me. She walked out into the empty classroom within eyesight of Nancy on the playground standing and staring down watching me. I helped her get her clean pull-up and pants on and took her back up to the playground. Nancy was pissed. Why did you do that? She needed to be taken care of in the bathroom. I just looked her in the eye all innocent, but you told me that I wasn't allowed to be alone with the kids, and you had to see me at all times. So, that's what I did. I didn't get fired. The director of the preschool asked me what happened and I don't remember her exact response, but I do remember there was a chuckle. Probably not very malicious, but malicious enough for a teenage girl that was super shy in the mid to late 90s. Okay then. I'll deal with it myself. Won't mention names due to being right into it right now. Story is as follows. I think it qualifies. I went into a local cannabis dispensary to get a dual cartridge CBD/THC vape pen that was rechargeable to check out. I am in cancer treatment recovery and use CBD/THC to help with muscle soreness on longer rows of 10 kilometers, and the product seemed to fit all the boxes for me. It was $60. I didn't have time to try it out that day, and the next one, I took a few vapes and it didn't seem to be working. I plugged it into a USB-C cable into laptop. Device did not come with one, and went back to working right next to it. A few minutes later, I noticed a smell of burning wire and looked down and the disposable device is burning a hole in my desk and smoke is coming out the end with the charger on it. The distillate was bubbling and vapor pouring out the top. I removed it from charger and let it cool down outside for a few minutes and then head back to the dispensary. I explained the situation to the clerk and said it was smoldering and reeked of electrical wires burning, and he said it sounded like user error to him and I should try a different charger for it. He said that they have had multiple people with this issue and it was always the same thing. He told me to take the device, which is a fire hazard at this point, and plug it back in and it will be just fine. I asked him to write the instructions on the back of my receipt just for clarification and I left with the pen. So, I come home again, get a different charger and plug it back in again to the same result, but this time, I recorded it with my phone on and headed back to the store again. Clerk refused the return and said there was about 20% of the product missing and perhaps I just vaped it and could not afford another. He did offer me 10% off on another order. He said I was free to contact his manager if I wasn't satisfied and I could deal with it myself. I took the receipt and the pen and I came home and I did just that. I first hit the corporate website of the Canadian company, which is highly regulated by federal and provincial cannabis regulations in my country, and found the CEO and noted his email address. I then figured out the distributor for the child/safety protection housing for the devices in question and noted his email address as well. Next was the email address to report faulty and defective devices to Health Canada, as well as the regulatory branch of the Consumer Product Protection Agency as well. I sent them all a very factual email stating nothing but facts, and I included conversations telling me as a consumer to apply more electricity to an obviously defective device, as well as stating that a corporation with multiple reports of a faulty device are legally obligated to report and follow a lengthy investigation when situations like this occur in this industry. It's highly regulated, and for a reason. I even sent videos. I finished everything off at about 11 p.m. last night and I sat back and waited. I have a 16-year-old son who knew of this situation, and on the way to school this morning, we discussed it and he bet me $20 that no one would call about it and I should just let it go. I decided that it would go the other way instead. About 9:30 a.m., I get an email from the indigenous cannabis producer's PR department stating that she was escalating my concerns and someone would be contacting me shortly. I also received another email shortly after from the CEO of the child protection/safety device distributor, and she and the CEO wanted to discuss this situation with me as well. A call followed with the COO and CEO of the distributor device maker, as this sh*t was now getting real for them, knowing everyone that needed to know now knew, and an investigation was imminent. I shared everything with them, and a call is being set up with the Chinese manufacturer to ask me questions about the device and circumstances of the failure, and I agreed to that as well. Lastly, the distributor offered to come by this afternoon to pick up the device, which is sitting safely outside in a box as I was instructed to do by the Consumer Safety Branch here in Ontario. She said she would include a few products and some swag for my efforts. Sadly, the retail store hasn't said a word, which leads me to believe that they really don't give a sh*t, or else they are too scared to call me back. Shocked. As for my kid, I'm getting $20 and he learns a valuable lesson of sometimes it's the principle over the $60 device. I suspect the staff won't be telling anyone else to look after things themselves. Dispensary rhymes with Flash & Co., and they need to teach their staff some manners in dealing with customers who they think are all potheads trying to rip them off for $10 worth of THC vape. P.S. No, I did not steal or attempt to profit by the dispensary's ink pens. This was a THC/CBD vape pen. I am not a monster. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.